Alright everyone, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video here along US-95 between Beatty and Goldfield, Nevada. So if the last video made you feel like we were in the middle of nowhere, well, this section right here certainly did, didn't it? We basically drove this entire video from Beatty up to Goldfield with absolutely no services, no gas, no food, no nothing. This is one of the longest stretches of road in the lower 48 without services, and it's even worse once you head north from Tonopah, but we'll get to that when we get to that in a few videos down the line. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, the central part of Nevada outside of Las Vegas and Reno is one of the most empty parts of the entire United States. As a matter of fact, I believe the central part of Nevada is where you can go the longest distance away from a McDonald's or Starbucks in the entire United States, of course not including places like Alaska or anything like that. Some of the lowest population density is found out here in the central part of Nevada away from its major population centers. As you can see here, Esmeralda County only has 0.2 people per square mile. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this video here as we passed through central Nevada, and one thing that you probably definitely noticed too as we drove north here along Highway 95 is that we kept gaining elevation the closer we got to Goldfield. In fact, we reached a maximum elevation of just over 6,000 feet above sea level there at Goldfield Summit just before we came into the town of Goldfield. So yeah, we have fully transitioned out of the Mojave Desert and into the Great Basin Desert, but like I mentioned in the previous video, we actually entered the Great Basin there all the way back at the Nye County line there around Mercury, where the road became a 2-lane road. And speaking of the Mojave Desert, you probably noticed the abundance of Joshua trees here as we came into the Goldfield Hills as we approached the town of Goldfield. So I believe these are the northernmost Joshua trees in the United States, and they're also pretty high in elevation too, with most of them being above 5,000 feet above sea level. It's to my understanding that Joshua trees like to grow around that 2,000 to 3,000 elevation range, give or take. So yeah, I guess you could say that these Joshua trees are kind of out of place and very isolated from the rest of the Joshua trees found in the United States farther south in the Mojave Desert. So as we come into the town of Goldfield here in Esmeralda County, so Goldfield basically serves as the county seat of Esmeralda County, but it only has about 225 people living in it. Goldfield is just shy of being considered a ghost town these days, which is crazy considering at one point it was the largest city in Nevada for a brief period of time during the early 1900s. And honestly, Goldfield is one of the best small towns you can visit in the United States. I know a lot of people probably don't think too much of it because you just blink and you miss it kind of on Highway 95 these days. But yeah, Nevada has some of the best small towns in America, in my personal opinion. I just love visiting all the small towns in rural Nevada as I drive through the state. They're just really awesome and so full of character, if you can believe it or not. If you just really take the time to explore these places, I'm sure you will find some interesting facts and stuff you didn't really know about them too. So yeah, I really encourage you all to stop at these places if you can, if you're just traveling through Nevada, because you can really learn a lot about its history and just how it really shaped Nevada, like even in modern times, if you can believe it or not. Alright folks, it's time to end off the video here, and just real quick, I want to give a shout out to all my social media accounts that you see on the screen right here. One thing in particular I really want to give a shout out is my Instagram page. So one thing that's really cool about my Instagram is if you guys watch my stories, you can actually see where I am in real time. It's just a really great way for you guys to see where I am and what I'm doing in real time, because I know a lot of the videos on here can get dated pretty quickly. So if you want to see where I am and what I'm doing in real time, I highly recommend following my Instagram page. The link is down in the description if you guys want to check it out. Alright folks, it's time for plugs here as we get ready to end off the video here. And the first thing I want to plug is my Patreon. So if you guys join my Patreon, you can literally watch all of my videos a few weeks in advance, sometimes even longer than that, just depending on how much content I'm making at the moment. So yeah, it's a great way to support me and my YouTube channel, and of course all the money that I make on there just goes right back into this YouTube channel, and of course the future travels that I go on as well, and then the various equipment that I buy to make these videos possible, of course. So yeah, I hope you guys will consider joining that. It's just really cool that you guys can support me on there, and you guys can just choose whatever level you want to join based on your budget and everything like that. I would really appreciate it if you guys would check it out. There is a link to my Patreon down in the description. And another thing that is set up on my channel is Super Thanks, which is located to the right of where you would normally like one of my videos. What that basically is just a way for you guys to tip me out for each video going forward if you feel that I've earned it, of course. And then all the money on there also goes right back to this channel to keep producing more of these types of videos in the future. Alright folks, with all that said, I really hope you all enjoyed this video here along Highway 95 between Beatty and Goldfield, Nevada. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon along Highway 95 in Nevada as we continue our journey north. I hope you all have an amazing day, and take care everyone. Thank you so much for watching.